Good morning. Yes, good morning. This is the first of our series that we're doing. This is a 12-week course entitled Step by Step to Knowing God. It's happening every day at about this time at 11:30, thereabouts. We will try and keep it to good time. I said, if you were with us yesterday, I gave a brief introduction that it would be about 5 minutes long. I think it might be a little bit longer than that. So I'm hoping you can bear with me and stick with this. And if you do, this 12-week course every weekday builds up to a really wonderful introduction to some of the great issues and great questions to do with the theme is knowing God. If you did hear me yesterday, then it was just a very brief introduction. And in this little course, it begins by saying, or asking the question, what is God like? Is he like some kind of cosmic policeman or a Santa Claus, Father Christmas type character, or a doddery old man with a long beard who wouldn't harm a fly? The key question always is he for us or against us? So we have to build up that picture of what God is like. And today is day one, and we're looking at God as creator. Now, every day we'll have some verses from the Bible, and every day there'll be some simple questions. It's as if I'm talking to you and you're responding. Of course, I can't hear you or see you, but I'm hoping that along the way, there will be people who will begin to communicate, begin to join along, and we'll end up having like a conversation about these important matters. So today I'm reading from Genesis chapter 1. All my thoughts, I don't aim to be original. I want them all to come from the Bible and based on God's word. So Genesis 1, verses 1 to 10. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water." So God made the expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it, and it was so. God called the expanse sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear." And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. And then at the end of the days of creation, the climax is day 6, and we read there some very, very important verses. I mean, they are some of the most important verses in the Bible, and this view of humanity has shaped the understanding of human beings from the beginning. But let me just read it. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and over every living creature that moves on the ground." So that's our reading today. The subject, as I've said, is God is creator. And we're going to just think about that now for a few minutes. What does verse 1 in Genesis 1 tell us about God? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Think of that in this verse. Really, it includes everything: matter, space, time. Everything was created by God. He didn't just rearrange existing matter. That matter came from somewhere. Where did it come from? It came ultimately from the creative energy and power and wisdom and from the mind of God. So he creates everything out of nothing. And what did God think of his creation at the beginning? Verse 4 says, God saw the light, that it was good. Verse 10, God saw that it was good. 7 times God makes this pronouncement about the creation which he has made, and he says it's good. At the end, with human beings in it, it's very good. Now, what are we to make of this? What does this mean? Does it mean that the world at this point is perfect in the sense of being sinless? The word good can have that sense, but rather I think, and I do believe that, but rather I think the world was perfect in the sense that it was fit. It was good for the purpose for which it was created. Have a look at that screwdriver. I could say that's a perfect screwdriver. The way it's been made, the way it's shaped, it does the job. It is fit for the purpose of being a screwdriver. We could say it's good. It's very good. And so was the world at the beginning, in the way that God ordered it, and just the way it was molded and shaped and fitted for his purpose. How did God create the universe? Well, again and again it says, and God said, let there be light. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters to separate water from water. Here's the point. It's by and through his word that God does things, because the creator God is also a speaking God. And his word, when he speaks, unleashes mighty power. Just look at the creation. It all came from his word. And the climax of these days of creation on day 6 is the creation of mankind. And what's special about them, about us? Then God said, let us make man in our image, in our likeness. We are made in some sense to be like God. And we are made to serve God. And we do that, it says, by ruling over the fish of the seas, the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth. So we were created to serve the creator and to rule over his creation. We're made in his image. That is such an incredible thought, such a wonderful revelation. You know, people want to understand themselves. They want to find themselves. And people think that they've got to delve inside or into the social structures around them, or into history or whatever, or their family history or whatever. Ultimately, we find ourselves when we find God. We understand who we are as creatures fundamentally when we understand who God is, the creator, and that we are made in his image. That does not mean that we look like God or God looks like us. It's not to be taken in a crass, literal way like that. This is the most profound thought imaginable. And it means many, many things. One thing it means is that we are styled after his character. even in Genesis 1, we see a living God who acts, who thinks, who plans, who creates, who communicates, who makes choices, who has emotions, who is a person. And if we're made in his image, then we share all of those qualities. We certainly do. In some remarkable sense, every human being is like God. But also being like God means another thing that we see in Genesis 1 so clearly, that this God, the creator, has authority. And he's made us in his image. He who is the ruler over the whole universe, he's made us to be little rulers, as it were, over the earth. And that's another sense, a second sense, in which it means to be like him, to be his image. I wonder if that sounds great to you. What a vision, what a calling. It is great. It is wonderful to know that God is our creator. And tomorrow we'll delve a little bit more into that. What does it mean? What does it mean to say that God is great and God is powerful? Hope to see you tomorrow, 11:30, back here. Thanks for listening. Bye.